Bánh mì nóng đi, bánh mì nóng giòn đi. Hột gà nướng, hột vịt lộn, hột vịt sữa, trứng cút lộn, ớt
My
xào
name is
đen.
Annie. Today I've got someone really special, a podcaster, a teacher, a journalism graduate, Connor Kelly. So Connor, what is that one thing that would recommend to another person to come to Vietnam?
It's a place where you can really discover what you're capable of, if you allow it to do so.
That is very powerful. That is super powerful. I agree. Like Saigon is like, just Saigon alone already is like a very vibrant city, bunch of entrepreneurs. And I think the weather allows it too. And the second question is, what is the one thing that would tell your friend not to come to Vietnam?
It's not for everyone. So I'd say if you want to come here and forget all of your issues and bury them in whatever substance or whatever method you want to, don't. Like, really seriously think hard about doing so, because it's not a good idea.
Bánh mì nóng giòn đi.
My name's Misha Smith, and I'm your guest host. My guest today is Mr. Kevin Lee! Kevin, what one reason would you use to persuade someone to come to Vietnam?
Energy. There's a lot of youthful energy in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's, it's funny, like, you know, people who've never been here, and also people, like Vietnamese people who I'm meeting, I get asked a lot, like, why Vietnam? Like, what is it about Vietnam? And energy is the word that, like, it's like, I can't really put a finger on it,
Yep.
but the energy, like, being in Saigon, like, the first time I came here on vacation, I just had this fucking goofy grin on my face for the full 2 weeks, and like, you couldn't
It's a buzz.
slap it off. Yeah.
Right? It's
Yeah.
a buzz.
Yeah. Love it. What's one reason you would use to persuade someone not to come to Vietnam?
If you hate the traffic in Saigon, don't come to Saigon.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the traffic can get a bit much. Especially if you're rushing to work in the morning.
Fair.
Yeah.
Bánh mì nóng giòn đi.
My name is Mikachu, and today I have the pleasure of being the host here. Today I interview my dear friend Dennis Jung. Dennis, what one reason would you use to persuade someone to come to Vietnam?
Come to Vietnam if you want to find, explore, and reinvent yourself.
What one reason would you use to persuade someone not to come to Vietnam?
Don't come if you just want to party.
Bánh mì nóng giòn đi.
My name's Neil Mackay and I'm your host. My guest today is a fellow comedian, Matt Tran. All right, Matt, what one reason would you use to persuade someone to come to Vietnam?
Food. 100%. The food. And just to come, yeah, that would be the one thing I would say. If you're a foodie and you want to really have an experience with your palate, come to Vietnam.
What one reason would you use to persuade someone not to come to Vietnam?
The heat and humidity. Yeah. If you're very sensitive to sweating all day, every day, because you get used to it out here. Yeah, it's the one thing where it's just part of your day, right? Or like the constant rain, it's just part of your day. So if you can't get past that, don't come.
Bánh mì nóng giòn đi.
My guest today is the CEO at OMG Talent Group, Mike Nguyen. So, Mike, what one reason would you use to persuade someone to come to Vietnam? One reason.
Opportunity.
All right, that's a good one. Yeah, we've talked about that a lot for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
What one reason would you use to persuade someone not to come to Vietnam?
If you have children, education is very expensive, yeah. Yeah, so you have to think about that.
Bánh mì nóng giòn đi.
My guest today, a sex, love, and relationship coach, Selena Lung. Selena, what one reason would you use to persuade someone to come to Vietnam?
Good food and good people.
What one reason would you use to persuade someone not to come to Vietnam?
Jesus, this is a very hard one. Not to come to Vietnam. My response is that maybe because it's too hot, you cannot stand it. Yeah, it's really hot.
Bánh mì nóng giòn đi.
So my guest today is Tâm Nguyen. Tâm, what one reason would you use to persuade somebody to come to Vietnam?
Since we've been talking about art, come to Vietnam and observe what we are going to be.
What one reason would you persuade someone not to come to Vietnam?
Well, I mean, in the meantime, you might have suffered from the traffic, but you can survive and see how Neil is surviving and thriving.
Do you know, when I came here, it's the number one thing people talk about, and it is crazy, especially in Saigon. The amount of bikes, and I swore I would never get on a bike myself. I would never drive myself. I was like, I'm just going to get taxis everywhere. They're cheaper here. It's fine. We're going everywhere by taxi. But, I mean, they're cheaper, but not cheap enough that you can get a taxi. And it's not convenient all the time. I think it took me 3 months to get on a bike. Now it's crazy how much sense it makes once you get into it. It's just like flowing water. You just drive. But recently, I noticed I was being a bit hectic because I was running about from place to place. And I was driving too quickly. I nearly got in a few accidents and a few things. I was like, and I was always in my head blaming the other person. And then I was like, Neil, you're driving too fast. You need to slow down. That's the part of Vietnam as well. Everyone, you just drive slowly. And there are accidents, and the death rates here are really high. It's not completely safe, but the amount of accidents you see for the craziness are quite low, I think, anyway, for the volume of traffic. So I've started to slow right down now, and it's much more relaxing.
That's good. I mean, I have nothing to add because I don't drive.
Oh my goodness, you don't drive?
No.
Are you Vietnamese?
That's exactly the question.
Have you ever driven?
Yes. So I think basically I can drive when there are not that many people around. And again, that's the question of whether you're driving too fast or too slow, because always other people from behind you trying to overrun, and it's very stressful for me.
Yeah. No, I know some people that have just chosen not to drive because it is very stressful. Shout out to my Aunt Christina if she's listening. She's probably not, but if you're listening, Kirsty, she was visiting here in Vietnam pre-COVID a couple of years ago, and she was on the back of my bike. We were in D4, and I just pulled out as you normally would. She screamed so loudly she nearly burst my eardrums, and she grabbed my ribs so sore. I think I had bruises the next day from her being so terrified. But it's so scary though, because I just pulled out. There's a car coming towards you, but you're used to it. There's no problem. Yeah, the car's coming. I'm going to go around it. No worries. If you're not from here and you've just landed and someone puts you on the back of their bike and pulls into traffic with a 4x4 coming towards you, you're going to scream. But anyway, she loved it in the end. She loved it, didn't you, Kirsty? My guest today, he's an American. He's from Washington, D.C., who served in the Air Force for 10 years. Marquise Ryan. So, Ryan, what one reason would you use to persuade someone to come to Vietnam?
It's about, I think this is the best place to pursue your hobbies. Like, out of any place, I realized that when I lived in America and Europe and Africa and the military, I never pursued my hobbies since I left high school. Having that time to really look at yourself and like, what used to make me happy? And is it music? Is it this? Is it that? Is it that? And then you just start really getting good at it. And you really have a lot of time to cultivate skills, and you can use those skills to leave Vietnam and become worthwhile to someone.
What one reason would you persuade someone not to come to Vietnam?
Not to come to Vietnam. I gotta say, like, the sexpats, those guys are the worst, absolute worst.
Do you think someone shouldn't come to Vietnam just because of the sexpats? Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, a lot of people say, like, oh, yeah, I can go. I mean, you can find a wife here that is great, and they're really nice, comfortable people and good. But you shouldn't come here with the expectation that they're all a monolith and they're all the same. They're all completely different. You're going to get, you can't just come here just thinking that. You need to find, if you're looking for that, you should, like, look within yourself and figure out, like, what am I lacking to push,
I am Paul Villanova. My guest today is a professional basketball player, national team captain, business owner, and entrepreneur, Justin Young. Okay, Justin, why would you persuade someone to not come to Vietnam?
I don't know. There's nothing that can say bad about Vietnam.
I would think there's certain people don't have an open mind or not open-minded enough to be able to deal with certain things in Vietnam.
Yeah, I guess so. Something that I don't like, I guess the easy way to go is something I still can't comprehend out here is there's no personal space. They don't respect your personal space out here. So if you're waiting in line, they'll be literally on your back, just breathing down your neck. Stuff like that. What else? Traffic I've gotten to like, actually. I enjoy it. But for people coming in, yeah, the traffic would be pretty bad. There's no laws out here, traffic laws. So that's something that, if you were to come here, just be wary about, I guess.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're like me, you may use your laptop at places where you have to use public Wi-Fi. This opens you up to digital snoopers. It's a massive problem. It can be your internet service provider, or you know who, looking at what you do online, or a cyber criminal trying to steal your bank passwords or credit card info, or even a hacker at the next table trying to steal your sensitive data. These days, it is vital that you keep your data safe. NordVPN keeps all of these snoopers away. It makes your internet activity private, protects you from accessing dangerous websites that are phishing for your data, and lets you enjoy your favorite content securely, even while away from home. And it's easy to use, even I could use it. I've actually been using NordVPN for years now here in Vietnam, and I'm excited to be an affiliate partner with them. I've used NordVPN to watch Netflix, BBC, Disney Plus with ease, and I also know that my information and data are safe from prying eyes, whoever they may be. Join now and you'll get 68% off and 3 months free when you go to my link, nordvpn.com/SMB. Just again, for those hard of hearing, nordvpn.com/SMB. The link is also in the show notes. I know nobody checks them out, but go check that out and you can get the link from wherever you're listening to this podcast. As an affiliate partner, it also means that I will get a small commission when you sign up, but at no extra cost to you. So not only will you be getting a great deal through 7 Million Bikes, you get a great VPN and you'll be supporting 7 Million Bikes podcast. Stay safe online and enjoy the shows you love. Any questions, just let me know. You know how to get in touch with me. And thanks for listening to this show. Cheers.